Wanonyeli, Edengos next Boronine, Ojazingos, one forgive Jesu.
Maria, their son, and Ketubu, Reverend Ninja,
Nyajo Odibo Waninko Sebrowa. Ekene Maria, Egypt na Gracia, Osebru Wanonyeli, Edengos next Boronine, Ojazingos, one forgive Jesu.
Their son, and Ketubu, Reverend Ninja, Kitana, Amen.
Okwe Melaro, Ekene Maria, Egypt na Gracia, Osebru Wanonyeli, Edengos next Boronine, Ojazingos, one forgive Jesu.
Maria, their son, and Ketubu, Reverend Ninja, Kitana, Amen.
Yabalanya, your own name, Ketukujaso.
I went to Nasan Christy.
Ayo, I know Yogi Ojuku, Kirin Gracia, Yodai, Carbon the Angel with Jerusalem, where Mali will have no Christian Wadi, Sinafia Nubia, where Batano Stone and Beaten Awaya, still a Christy Dimenai. Amen. What's it all the rain and one among so?
It's all the days of when in the web, amen.
What's it all the rain and one among so?
It's all the days of when in the web, amen.
What's it all the rain and Kabulo Pindini Nekwere no Galaga, Kabulo Bifas Liken and Dokwa.
Amen.
Onye nwanyi nọnyere ụlọ ka Chineke ji ike niile gọzie ụlọ nna na nwa na mmụọ nsọ.
Amen.
Listen to News 103.5 FM immediately after Angeles, 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebonadi FM breaks the news with actualities.
I believe that if we are looking for a new Nigeria,
You can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM.
Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM news update today, Thursday, the 22nd day of June 2023, and the time is 4 minutes past the hour of 6. Martin Ifanshuku Ekeze is my name. The headlines. Who will pay 40,000 naira daily? Rescued Anambra sex slaves allege. Enugu residents frown at proposed electricity tariff hike. Ebonyi government vows to apprehend killers of INEC staff. Afikpo killings. Anambra Commission says violent response not panacea to southeast insecurity. Enugu government to migrate civil service to e-governance. US not backing down on Biden's Xi dictator comment. Now, details. We pay 40,000 naira daily, rescued Anambra sex slaves allege. Some of the girls recently rescued from a brothel by security operatives and officials of the Anambra State Ministry of Women and Social Welfare have claimed that they pay their madam 40,000 naira daily to remain in business. The sex slaves said they were forced to pay the money before they were given out to men to sleep with. The victims, aged between 15 and 25 years, also claimed that they were mandated to make returns of 10,000 naira to 15,000 naira each night, while each man they slept with paid them partly 1,000 naira. One of the girls claimed that she was forced to sleep with 50 men in a week to be able to make enough money for the returns. According to some of the victims, they were brought to Oka by two women whose names they gave as Ifeoma and Chika from Ezza, Ebonyi State, on the promise of securing jobs for them, not knowing that they were being lured into prostitution. One of the girls said The women who brought us to the brothel seized our phones and other belongings before handing us over to another woman called Ezenwani, who notified us that before we will be released, we must bring 150,000 naira or serve her for a period of 1 year. We were able to use a whistleblower's phone to get across to our families, who in turn notified the Women Affairs Ministry, which, with the help of the police, raided the brothel. One of the parents of the victims, Mrs. Uchechi Friday, said immediately her daughter got missing, she lodged a complaint at the police station in Abakaliki, adding that she was shocked when she received a call from her daughter, which made her to seek help from the Commission for Women and Social Welfare in Anambra State. She commended the Anambra State Commissioner, Mrs. Ifeyiwa Obinabo, for her prompt response and urged parents to always be mindful of their children's welfare and whereabouts. In her reaction, Obinabo spoke of the state government's resolve to end all forms of child kidnap, trafficking, and sexual slavery in the state. She warned that hotel owners who use underage girls in running their businesses will face the law, assuring that the current case of sex slavery in the state was already receiving the attention of the governor, Chukwuma Soludo, who has vowed not to treat the matter with levity. Enugu residents frown at proposed electricity tariff hike. Residents of Enugu have expressed concern over the proposed 40% hike in electricity tariff beginning July 1st. The residents spoke on the issue in separate interviews with newsmen in Enugu on Wednesday. An industrialist, Mr. Jude Emode, said the proposal would push up the cost of production, which would lead to a hike in the prices of manufactured goods. Emode also said that the proposed increase might chase many small businesses out of business. With an increase as high as 40%, how do you think pure water producers can survive? Because this will lead to an increase in the production cost. The purchasing power of Nigerians will also reduce drastically. It is going to be terrible for many business owners and salary earners, he said. Also, a civil servant, Mrs. Mercy Ofoma, advised that the proposal be shelved for now. Ofoma said the new administration should first fulfill the palliative measures promised to cushion the effect of the oil subsidy removal. For me, the suffering will be much for poor Nigerian workers who everything begins to go up and salary remains static, she said. Ebonyi government vows to apprehend killers of INEC staff, Afibo killings. The Ebonyi government of Wednesday said it will soon apprehend the killers of Mr. Sons that Igwe was killed by gunmen along Mpo, Enugu, Ishiago, Ebonyi Road on June 18th, and his wife, who was traveling with him, abducted. The gunmen also killed Mr. Aja Okafor, father to leader of the Ohaneze Ndigo Sociocultural Organization's youth wing, Damian Okafor, on his farm while fleeing with the abducted woman. Mr. Jude Obo, the State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, revealed that the government's resolve on Wednesday during his median briefing. Obo said Governor Francis Nwifuru was saddened by the killings, which he described as heartbreaking. Security issues are not discussed in public, but the government will do everything to apprehend the perpetrators of such dastardly acts. The governor has given the necessary directives and soon they would be apprehended. The governor recently had his first Security Council meeting with all heads of security agencies in attendance, and the people are assured of their safety, he said. Anambra Commission says violent response not panacea to Southeast insecurity. The Anambra Truth, Justice and Peace Commission, ATJPC, says violent response to the spate of violence in Anambra cannot evolve the peaceful and livable homeland needed in the region. Professor Shede Odinkalo, chairman of the ATJPC, said this on Wednesday in Oka during a stakeholders engagement and commencement of a 14-day sitting to probe the remote and immediate causes of insecurity in Anambra. Odinkalo, who called for a 1-minute silence in memory of those lost in the wake of violence in the state, said no to any society which shoots its way to peace, adding it was time to the people to sat down to interrogate the situation. The law scholar said the Southeast has lost a good number of its active population, most of whom were unaccounted for, and that there were too many lost spirits roaming the society and crying for justice. He commended Governor Chukwuma Soludo for setting up the commission in June last year to stir the dialogue on causes and possible solution to the insecurity in Anambra. He said the success of the commission in Anambra would be a precursor to solving the crisis in Igbo land. According to him, the response to violence in Igbo land has been violent. So is violence from all sides, and the society cannot wish away its problems because those dying are brothers, fathers, friends, and children. We need to find a solution outside shooting. Our problem is complex. Some people say our problem is the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB and the pro-Biafra separatist movement and the Eastern Security Network, ESN. That is not true. The people killed in Obosi in the last 18 months, where it is a taboo to mention IPOB, is more than those killed in relation to IPOB and ESN, he stated. We must tell ourselves the truth and give justice to the wounded for peace to reign in Igbo land. That is why we have said we must start this conversation today so that we will know where our problems really started and how we got here, he stated. Earlier, Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, secretary of the commission, gave his report in the last 1 year of its existence. Enugu government to migrate civil service to e-governance. Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State has reiterated the determination of the administration to migrate the state civil service from manual means of operations to e-governance. Governor Mba said this will be made possible through training of the workforce on digital transformation and other innovative technologies. The governor disclosed this on Wednesday when the two of the newly appointed head of service, Mr. Kenneth Ubu, and the principal secretary to the governor, Mr. Ken Chukwuegbu, took their oaths of office at the Lion Building, Government House in Ugu. While facilitating them on their appointments, Governor Mba said that they were considered for the offices based on their track records and wealth of experience in the civil service, even as he expressed confidence that they would help to drive the digitalization policy of his administration. Speaking immediately after the swearing-in ceremony, Mr. Chukwuegbu appreciated the governor for finding them worthy to serve the state in their new offices, assuring that they would not disappoint the people. Mr. Chukwuegbu promised that they would deploy their experiences in driving the lofty ideas and policies the Mba administration has espoused. Now we move over to the foreign scene. US not backing down on Biden's Xi dictator comment. The White House is not backing down on comments made by President Joe Biden likening Chinese President Xi Jinping to a dictator. It should come as no surprise that the president speaks candidly about China and the differences that we have. We are certainly not alone in that, a senior administration officer said in a statement on Wednesday at a Californian fundraiser for his 2024 presidential campaign Tuesday. Biden said Xi was unaware and embarrassed over a suspected Chinese spy balloon flying over American territory that they shot down in February. What a great embarrassment for dictators when they didn't know what happened, Biden said. When it got shut down, he was very embarrassed. He denied it was even there. China's foreign ministry hit back, saying Biden's remarks seriously violated China's political dignity and amounted to public political provocation. The press is usually forbidden from recording such fundraising events, but the White House provided a transcript of Biden's remarks. The comments were especially notable as they were made a day after Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited Beijing to repair bilateral relations that have hit a historical low. Blinken's visit, originally scheduled for February, was postponed by Washington after the spy balloon was destroyed. While Blinken's visit failed to produce any major breakthrough, he and Xi had agreed to stabilize the US-China rivalry so it does not veer into conflict. Washington rejects the notion that Biden's comments are counterproductive to his top diplomats' efforts. This is where we draw the curtain on news update on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. But before we leave, a quick look at the headlines. We pay 40,000 naira daily. Rescued Anambra sex slaves allege. Enugu residents frown at proposed electricity tariff hike. Ebonyi government vows to apprehend killers of INEC staff. Afibo killings. Anambra Commission says violent response not panacea to Southeast insecurity. Enugu government to migrate civil service to e-governance. US not backing down on Biden's chief dictator comment. You just listened to news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. News produced by Martin Ifeanyi Ekeze. Thank you for listening. Good morning.
Listen to news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM immediately after Angeles, 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebona, the FM breaks the news with actualities.
I believe that if we are looking for a new Nigeria,
You can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM. To be or not to be? Do you have acting skills? Do you have what it takes to be on the spotlight in acting? Here is the opportunity you have been waiting for. Babuwa Production presents audition for the radio drama Eriko on Ebona 103.5 FM. For more information on how to register and feature, visit Ebona 103.5 FM inside European Residency Hotel in Gigi opposite Omunike Boys, or you call 080-391-67049. Registration ends on Friday, 7th of July 2023. Don't miss out.
Ladies and gentlemen, tighten your seatbelt as we take you on this smooth ride. Let's go! It's the morning drive on 103.5 Ebona DFM, keeping your morning engaging as we take you through the smoothest ride on radio.
From 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
You're getting your morning inspired, be informed. Let's interact only on the morning drive.
Make it a date with Martin Ifeanyi, aka Meta.
And Tracy F.E. Emenari, aka Classy.
From Monday to Friday, from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
On the morning drive. 103.5
Ebona the FM, 24 hours of informative, educative, and entertainment programs. Can't stop, won't stop. On Ebona the 103.5 FM.
Jesus, I can deny your word. Jesus, if parents is not
Like, subscribe, and share. Right?